Hi and welcome to modelling the hut. Okay, so what we're going to do here first is loading this, which is the white box version of the hut. We're happy with this size, so we can use this as our baseline. So what I want you to do now is right click on it, go to object properties, and where it says visibility, just make that 0.2. Like that, that's cool. So we can barely see it. And then we're going to use freeze. So over in display here, fourth one along, come down to the freeze tab, so expand it and click on freeze selected. And what that does is it will keep the model there, but you just won't be able to do anything with it. So you can work in the scene now and you won't affect that, but you can still see it, which is perfect for what we need. So now we can start modeling our door frame and door. As we have a quick look at our concept image, this is the reference we created before. We want this sort of chunky wooden frame and this sort of rickety old door that we drew here. So that's the kind of look we're going to go for the door. You know, we might even include some of these metal straps that's holding it together, which is always quite a nice detail. Old placements for old hinges there, which is quite cool, but I don't think we'll go that far. A bit of rotten wood on the floor, we can do that using textures and materials. Yeah, so that's cool. So that's what we're going to go for. So let's do it. Close that. Right, so basically going to start with a few boxes. So I'll start with the first box, and we want it so that it it covers the thickness of the wall with a tiny bit of overlap sort of sticking out and outside and a bit on the inside. Just make sure it's in the right place here. Let's get it positioned right. So remember, we've still got to do the high poly version of the actual hut as well, so it's fine. And if we're saying that this thickness is about right, then we need to make this door frame a little thinner, because that's quite sticking out quite a bit. So let's pull it in like that. Make it roughly in the middle. There we go. That looks good. And once we've got our door frame down and our sizes right, we can get rid of this hut then. So it's just there to sort of get us started. Okay, we're going to make it less height. We're going to bring it to the top of the door, and we're going to put a beam going across, so it sits on top of the two outer beams. So let's bring down the height there, like that, a little bit more. Yeah, that's cool. Right, we're going to, with our concept, it was quite a rickety old door frame, so I'm going to put in some loops here so I can pull it about just very subtly. I also want to round these corners off, because in the real world nothing is as sharp as that. Maybe a razor blade perhaps, but you just don't get corners like that in the real world. If you look at every object around you, nothing will have a corner as sharp and as abrupt as that. So a bit of a bevel there, maybe a bit of wobbliness in the actual wood surface. But I mean, we can get away with a lot using our normals and our textures, our material, so I'm not too worried about it at this stage. Okay, so first thing, give it a couple of height segments. Yeah, that'll do. That's cool. We want to turn it into an editable poly, like so. So we select our edges like this. Click on chamfer, bring up chamfer details. Scale it down because it's just gone crazy. Give it a bit of a beveled edge like that. Yeah, take it down even more. Take it down to 1 centimeter. .5. Yeah. Tick. That's cool. I'm going to do that with all the corners. Could probably do all these together. So if you select all the corners like this. Oops. Be careful, you haven't got having that selected. You can quite easily make a mistake by moving something. So make sure you've got, select object selected when you're doing this kind of work. So select all the corners. Click on chamfer again. You should already have the 0.5 setting there. Yep. And just click tick. So all your corners are chamfered all at the same time. The wood is too straight for the rickety look that we want, so we're gonna wobbly it up a bit for want of a better word. Okay, so we're just gonna, only needs to be very subtle, it doesn't need to be too much, and we'll pull this side out a bit like that so that you get a sense of that it's a little bit wobbly. Pull that in a bit like that. That's good. Same with this side, just pull it in a little bit. Just push that out a teeny bit. Let's just undo that. Okay, we've got to be careful with our door. So definitely want our door to still fit, but we'll have a big old gap around the outside of our door to let the light out. It's a rickety cabin, so nothing's going to be straight. Okay, so that's the first beam on one side. Let's now move it. Copy that side to the other side, like that. Rotate it 180, like that. Let's just make sure it's sitting in the right place. Yeah. There we go. Just position them correctly. Now we want one across the top, so let's just copy that again. Okay, rotate it 90 degrees that way. Just move it up. And we're going to have to extend that out a bit. Just extend the edges. Let's just snap it to the top of there. There you go. Might be a bit gappy, but that's not a bad thing. You might even want to just offset it slightly. Just get some of your verts here and just move it back. It just says it doesn't quite fit right, and that's that's quite nice because you want that, gives you that detail. You'll see it in the ambient occlusion a lot more. And yeah, that's cool. Just gives it a bit more, makes it a bit more authentic, you like. Yeah. Okay, so there's our door frame. Okay, at this stage we can now get rid of this hut because we've got the size correct. So if we go back onto freeze, go to unfreeze all and click it, and just press delete so as it's gone. As long as this doesn't change, we know it's the correct size. So let's just go to file, save as. We don't want to save it in our white box. We're going to come back out, go to our high detail, and we want to save it in there. So so it's HD hut frame door, and save that. Now let's do the door. If we take another look at our concept art, we've got these. Now there's two ways we can do this. We can build all the planks and join them together individually, or we can do the shape and let the textures do the work. And because our texture work is pretty solid these days, the materials, the materials with the normal maps and the PBR, it will look really cool. Actually, I don't think we need to do individual planks. We'll do the basic shape of the door. We will do these beams, and we will do some hinges. But what I'm thinking of doing is turn this door the other way around, because I know it's on the outside on that door there, but generally hinges are on the other side, because if you push that, you know, if you think about the hinges like that, they don't work. It wouldn't really work because the hinges wouldn't hinge like that. So might have to flip it around so you see just planks on the outside, and these beams here would be on the inside along with the hinges. Anyway, we can sort that out once we've built it, so let's go and build that now. So we're just going to build the shape, and we'll get all these wobbly bits like that to give the impression that planks are making that shape like that, and the bottom with a gap. And okay, so let's go and do that. Yep, so let's start with another box. Like so. Okay, these colours are horrific. I'm just going to change that colour. So it's a neutral colour, and the colour of these. So it's neutral like that. That's better. Okay, so we're going to give it some. Let's give it a few of these, something like that. Yeah, okay, that's too thick, that door. So let's go to modify. Let's make it thinner, so it's proper wood-like. Yep. So let's make it fit a little bit of that way. Just move it like so. Okay, so look at the top, yeah, nice and gappy. Right then, so now we can pull our verts around. Let's turn it into an editable poly. Start making our rickety door here. And when we do a texture, we can make it a little bit more rotten and a bit more chipped away down here, and that will look really cool. Okay, let's pull the sides. Okay, it's already starting to look pretty. You can see the beveled edges on that wood working quite nicely, because what it tends to do is capture the light. So you can see that capturing the light a lot better when you rotate the camera, and it'll be better still once it's got all its materials on. So yeah, look at that. So that's loads better. Okay, so put our edges back on. Let's just pull that out, because what I'm going to do is select all my edges here. What I'm doing is holding down Control, double clicking, and it will select the loop, the line of edges. And I'm going to click on Chamfer and give them a Chamfer settings. Way too much. So is it 0.5, like that? And click the tick. Always click the tick. If you want to keep what you've done, click the tick. If you don't, click the X. If you don't do anything, it will just cancel, so make sure you click the tick. That's it. We've got nice bevels on our door. I won't bother with the top, because you're never really going to see, you're never going to look down on it like this, and you're never going to look up from the bottom, so it's going to be mostly from the sides.